Hello, and welcome to reading the Temu Privacy Policy so that you don't have to. This segment is presented to you by Termageddon.com. We're a software as a service that has generated tens of thousands of privacy policies and successfully kept them up to date with changing legislation. I wanted to note that anything that we talk about today should not be considered legal advice. If you are looking for legal advice, you should contact an attorney in your area. So most people are aware of what Temu is. It's an online shopping app where you can purchase anything from $7 headphones to a $5 dress, which is definitely suspiciously cheap. But it's a very popular app that has been downloaded over 100 million times already, and more people are using it to buy affordable goods online. Now, why is it important to read the Temu Privacy Policy? So really, you should be reading the privacy policy of any services that you sign up for, because privacy policies affect your privacy. So they explain what information is being collected about you, how it's being collected, how it's being shared, whether or not it's being sold, and how it's being used as well. And it also affects your privacy rights because it lists what rights you have and how to exercise them as well. Now for Temu, we're doing this a little bit differently than for other services. So we're comparing Temu's privacy policy, so what they say their actual privacy practices are. We're comparing that to a lawsuit that was recently filed in Illinois. So we'll see what the differences are and what the allegations of this lawsuit are, which are very serious privacy and security allegations. So first, how does Temu actually collect your personal information? So Temu's privacy policy says that it collects the information that you provide to it while registering for an account, placing an order, or contacting Temu. It also says that information is collected by third-party sources, so like their affiliate partners, their marketing, any publicly available information, social media, if you use a social media account to, for example, log into Temu, and then shopping companies as well. And then lastly, they say that they collect some information automatically through cookies and similar technologies. Now, this is all, this collection of information is things that you normally expect from a shopping app like this, right? It doesn't seem very concerning of how this information is being collected. However, when you look at the class action lawsuit and its allegations, it alleges that Temu installs malware and spyware onto your phone to collect information that you normally would not provide to the company. It also says that Temu can access your phone camera and microphone through this malware and spyware, so it could see what you're doing or what you're talking about. And it also says that this malware and spyware changes your privacy settings. So for example, if your privacy settings say that you don't share geolocation information with certain apps such as Temu, the lawsuit alleges that Temu can go into these settings and change them so that all of a sudden you are sharing this geolocation information, which is extremely concerning to say the least. Now, what personal information does Temu collect? So their privacy policy says that they collect your name, phone number, email address, and login credentials when creating an account. When you make a purchase, they'll collect your transaction history, your payment information, shipping address, and the contact information for the recipient of the shipment, as well as your history of communication with Temu support. So all these things, pretty much expected for similar apps. It also states that it collects user-generated content like your profile picture, your photos, images, audio, comments, questions, and messages. The photos, images, and audio, that's a little bit concerning. It doesn't really make sense that you would provide these things to a shopping app. If you do participate in contests, your information from those contests will be collected as well. It also says that it collects other data not explicitly listed. That's really bizarre in my opinion. The privacy policy should state all the data that's being collected and shouldn't have this catch-all for other data not listed in the privacy policy, like what is that data? It also states that it collects your demographic information, as well as your device data, how you use the Temu app, your IP address. So it says that it collects your location data, but just your IP address, not your actual location. And then other information gained through cookies and other trackers, like your interactions with advertisements or interactions with the app. So again, a lot of this stuff should be expected to be collected by an app like this, apart from photos, images, audio, and other data not explicitly listed. Now, the class action lawsuit says that Temu collects, and I quote, literally everything on your phone. So it says that it connects to your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi information. It collects your biometrics. So for example, the fingerprints that you're using to access your phone. So one of the allegations in the lawsuit is that this breaches the Illinois Biometric Information Privacy Act. Because you're not supposed to collect fingerprints without user consent and without informing the user that that's actually being collected. Your passwords, contacts, calendars, photo albums, social media accounts, geolocation, chats, and texts. So there's really no purpose for a shopping app to be collecting your chats and texts. That seems really bizarre. And because Temu allegedly can access your phone camera and microphone, the lawsuit says that it also collects any video and audio seen through the camera and the microphone. Now, this can happen even if you're not opening the camera app or you're not opening the microphone app. So that information can be collected as well. Allegedly by this lawsuit. It's very concerning that they're alleging that Temu can collect literally everything on your phone through malware and spyware. Now, how does Temu use your information? So the privacy policy says that they use the information to create and maintain your account, to process your orders and deliver any products or services that you're purchased. Improving and optimizing services. They also say that de-identified information can be used for any purpose. That seems really general and really strange as well. They can use the information to personalize your experience, provide you with customer support, allow you to participate in promotions and contests, send marketing messages, targeted ads, fraud prevention and security, compliance and legal obligations, and then lastly, analytics. So it seems like Temu uses your information for a lot of purposes, a lot of which are to be expected. But again, using de-identified information for any purpose seems really strange. Now, does Temu share your personal information? So yes, it does. So Temu's privacy policy says that they share it with affiliates, like their fulfillment partners or their company subsidiaries or affiliates, their service providers, so like their hosting company, providers that provide customer support, email delivery, and marketing. They say they also share that information with payment processors and advertising partners, and third parties designated by you. Not really sure what that means. Business and marketing partners, again, this is extremely vague, and it does not provide adequate information to the consumer. Professional advisors, U.S. authorities and regulators, business partners, merchandise partners, and sometimes other users as well. It would be nice if Temu to provide an actual list of all the third parties, whether their names or the categories, because a lot of these categories seem really vague, like business partners. What does that mean? Not sure. The class action lawsuit alleges that Temu, since it's a Chinese company, it's subject to a law that requires companies to provide user data upon request to Chinese national security authorities. So this means that any time your data could potentially be shared with Chinese national security authorities, which wouldn't be that big of a deal if it was just like your name and your address or something like that. But since they have access to all of this information, that can definitely cause issues. Now, does Temu sell your personal information? It's very unclear whether this is the case. So their privacy policy says that it does not sell your personal information in a traditional sense, but does share information for advertising and marketing purposes. The class action lawsuit says that personal information is most likely sold to third parties and data brokers. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not this is actually true as the lawsuit progresses. And then lastly, what privacy rights does Temu provide? So their privacy policy says that you can access, delete, and correct your personal information. You can opt out of marketing notifications and marketing messages. You can change your cookie settings, and then you can also opt out of sale or sharing of personal information. Their privacy policy links to a web form, and the privacy policy says that the form will allow you to exercise your privacy rights. But when you click on the form, it only allows you to opt out of personalized advertising. It does not allow you to opt out of opt out of sale or sharing of personal information. It doesn't allow you to access, delete, or correct your data either. But I was able to find additional forms for exercising privacy rights, but that's very confusing because as a consumer, if you click on a form that says you can exercise your rights here, and most of those rights are not exercisable through that form, that obviously can be very frustrating. And then you have to go in and dig through other forms to see how to exercise your rights. So that's the Temu Privacy Policy and kind of a description of what this lawsuit alleges that Temu does with your information and how it handles your privacy and security. It'll be very interesting to see how this lawsuit progresses and whether or not the allegations found are found to be true. But in the meantime, probably not a great idea to use Temu on your phone, considering all the information that they collect and the potential privacy and security violations as well. So yeah, so that's the Temu Privacy Policy. Hopefully you found this helpful.